Hi everyone, my name is Tammy Saleh and we have our men's 2019 US Open final lineup sorted. It will be Daniil Medvedev in his first ever Grand Slam final versus Rafael Nadal, 18-time Grand Slam winner, chasing his 19th. This is going to be my preview of the final, and I'll quickly talk about how the two semi-finals went. It was two great semi-finals, despite both of them being straight set victories. Daniil Medvedev beating Grigor Dimitrov, and of course Rafa beating Berrettini. If you haven't already, then please do subscribe, as I do release weekly tennis content as well as additional videos during the big tournaments like this. If you want to check out my last video where I discussed whether or not Medvedev can win the US Open, I'll be putting a link to that up here somewhere and also in the description below. But yeah, this video I'm going to be giving a preview to the final. So without further ado, let's roll the intro.
That's astonishing. It's absolutely wow. He's taken them apart.
So we'll begin with the first semi-final, Daniil Medvedev versus Grigor Dimitrov. And it was a great match, even though it was a straight sets victory. I mean, if you didn't see the match on paper, you probably think it was a pretty comfortable ride for Medvedev. That was not the case at all. It was very well contested, especially the first two sets. The first set, Grigor had set points. He could have easily won that set, and then ended up losing 7-5 on the tiebreak. That it was 6-5 going on serve on the tiebreak, and then Daniil got the mini break to win the set. Second set, likewise, it was a bit topsy-turvy. First, Grigor got the break, then Medvedev got two breaks in a row, then Dimitrov leveled things up again. But yeah, Medvedev got the crucial break at 5-4 when Grigor was serving to stay in the set. He got the break, got the second set, and after that, 2 sets to love down, you couldn't really see Dimitrov win the match. He's never come back from 2 sets to love down to win a Grand Slam match. One thing to note from that semi-final, however, was how tired Medvedev looked. Now, look, against Rafa, he will need to be, playing at 110%, maybe even more. And he can't be tired or gassing out or injured. That will just make his life, so much more difficult than it already is. As I was watching the match, there was a lot of, after long rallies, that Medvedev just looked gassed. Like, he was breathing heavily. Of course, he had the strappings on like he's had most matches, but, injury didn't seem to affect him in the match. But yeah, he was breathing heavily, and to be fair with you, I don't blame him. He's played a lot of tennis this summer. As you know, this is his 4th consecutive final. It's incredible what he's been doing. He reached the Washington final, Montreal final, Cincinnati final, and now the US Open final. He's had an incredible summer and also an incredible year. He's reached 7 finals in 2019 now. He's won the best part of 50 matches already this year, so he's won the most matches out of anyone in the men's tour this year. So he has played a lot of tennis, but he just really needs to play one more great match to cap off an incredible summer. Looking at the second semi-final, Rafael Nadal versus Matteo Berrettini. Now look, Rafa, he's been, my favorite, my pick before the US Open began to win this tournament, and he has looked incredible. He's been, just watching Rafa play sometimes, you just, I was watching that match, some of the forehands, it's devastating. And I was just thinking, how can anyone beat Rafa Nadal? And then you think of the achievements of Novak Djokovic and Roger Federer to be able to consistently beat him. And you just think, wow, these three guys, they're on another level, because Rafa, especially when he's got that forehand going, he is just unbelievable. Matteo Berrettini, I must admit, I've not seen too much of him in the past. However, I was very impressed by the way he played, especially in that first and second set. His serve, he's got an amazing serve, big serve. And then that forehand, now rarely have I seen forehands that could probably match the power of Del Potro's, but wow, some of those forehands he was hitting, it was unbelievable power, how much he got. That first set, I could not believe he did not win that first set. He was 4 love up in the tiebreak, and then also 6-4 serving for the set. He had 2 set points. yeah, I just don't. That for me was the turning point of the match. Had he won that first set, it may have been a little bit more competitive. But the minute he lost that first set, I was just like, yeah, this match is over. I thought in the second set he'd lose his serve early, but kudos to him. He was facing break points in his games in the second set, but he was holding on. But yeah, he lost the second set 6-1, and after that it was just like, yeah, it was just a procession for Rafa. And with that, Rafael Nadal goes to another US Open final. It will be his fifth final. He's won 3 US Opens already, losing only one final to Novak Djokovic in 2011. And he is looking solid now. I don't need to tell you guys the ramifications of every Grand Slam now until any one of these big three retire. He is 2 behind Roger Federer, and if he can beat Daniil Medvedev in a couple of days' time, he will only be 1 behind Roger. And the way he's still dominant on the clay, especially in Roland Garros, it looks almost certain that he will win at least probably 1, probably 2 more French Opens. So yeah, this US Open is very beneficial to Rafa in his claim to have the most Grand Slam titles out of the big three. Now, I did make a video after Wimbledon whether or not I felt that Novak Djokovic would pass Federer's Grand Slam tally of 20. And in that video, I did mention that the slam Rafa most likely will win outside of the French Open is the US Open. This is his second most successful slam. Of course, after the French Open, he's won 3 here. And if he wins in a couple of days, he could have 4 US Open titles. That will only put him 1 behind Roger Federer. Now, a decade ago, I remember after Roger had won 5 US Opens on the trot, and the US Open was the last slam for Rafa to win to finish his career slam. A lot of people, I remember saying that Rafa will never win the US Open. He's always burnt out before, like by the time he reaches the hard courts of the summer. And yeah, he could only now be 1 US Open behind Roger Federer. I find that incredible. And also he will have, if he wins of course, he will have more US Opens than Novak Djokovic, a guy who's known to be dominant on hard courts. So yeah, Rafa has done very well in New York and has a lot of success from the US Open. Now, I'll quickly talk about the 2 players. So Daniil Medvedev, Rafa Nadal, they've only met once in their careers, and that was not too long ago. It was about a month ago in the final of Montreal, where Rafa absolutely demolished him. He beat him 6-3, 6-love. Yeah, Medvedev's gonna have to play a lot better than that if he doesn't want a repeat of that scoreline. And just looking at the semi-final against Dimitrov, now Medvedev will have to personally improve on his serve drastically. He only had 47% first serves land in against Dimitrov, and he hit 8 double faults. Now that will not go well against Rafa. Rafa, of course, is serving big as well in this tournament. Second serve, first serve, you name it. And also with this, I'd like to quickly mention that I find it really quite jaw-dropping that, the big three, they're great players, very dominant, but they're always tweaking and changing their games. They're not happy or satisfied to stay stagnant. Even if it is a winning formula, they're always looking to adapt and improve their games, especially at, they're all above 30 now. So yeah, they do need to adapt their games, and they are. So I find that very commendable. Each member of the big three has adapted their game in a way, in some way or another, to carry on their success. Medvedev has now, for me, established himself as the 4th best player in the world. He's now in 4th in the race. Qualified for London, by the way. He will definitely be there. And he is also 4th in the rankings now, or when it's updated on Monday. And this match will show how far away he is from the big three. Medvedev being 4th is unofficially the best of the rest. So we will see how the best of the rest perform against one of the big three members. He is also the youngest male slam finalist in the last 9 years. So great going from Medvedev. An incredible summer he's had. Rafa, if he can win the US Open, will also go roughly 2,000 points ahead of Novak in the ATP race. And it is looking juicy. Like at one point after Wimbledon, it looked almost assured that Novak would hold on to the world number 1 ranking at least and up until the end of the year. But yeah, Rafa, he may have to postpone or delay his wedding a little if he wants if he's really interested in going for that year-end number one. He of course has 4 compared to Novak Djokovic and Roger Federer's 5 year-end number ones. Novak Djokovic is also roughly 40 weeks away from beating Roger Federer's record of the most weeks at number one. So this is a stat that's very important and one I'll be keeping an eye on. And to finally round up this video, I'll give you my predictions. Now look, it will be an uphill battle for Medvedev. He's had a very long summer, but can he just pull through one last match? He's facing Rafa Nadal, who looks very solid. At the beginning of the tournament, me, like many of you guys, predicted Rafa would win the US Open, and I'm not going to change my mind on that. I still believe Rafa will win the US Open this year. I just can't see him letting this opportunity slide, and also just the way he's playing. And I believe the Montreal result will give him extreme confidence going into this match. That was a complete, annihilation really of Medvedev. For me, Medvedev already been a successful summer, reaching his maiden Grand Slam final. He's already, he's had a very good summer. I believe if he can simply make it competitive, maybe win a set, then it will have been a great effort for him. I don't expect him to win this year's US Open. However, I believe he will be a multiple Grand Slam champion in the future. This is like his first real test, the first glimpse of glory. And I just don't think he's ready just yet to beat this Rafa on this form. It's been an incredible achievement so far. But yeah, if I had to predict, I am going to say Rafa Nadal, he will win the US Open. He will beat Medvedev in 4 sets. That's my prediction. Not meant to be controversial. Please do leave a comment below with your prediction. How do you think the final will go? Will it be a straight sets, comfortable victory for Rafa? Will Medvedev make it competitive? Or will Daniil Medvedev become the newest Grand Slam champion? I'd love to hear what you have to say. As you know, I do respond to most, if not all, of your comments. So yeah, do drop a comment below. And like always, if you've enjoyed this video, please do leave a thumbs up and subscribe for future content like this. Thank you very much.